Hello and welcome back to the channel. Tomorrow night, and it's the winter, no it's not, it's the summer equinox tomorrow night, the longest day of the year. Which is interesting, we're halfway through the year, growing season. It's 21st of June tomorrow night, so that must mean it's the 20th of June tonight. Yeah, I'm down on the allotment here in the shadow of John Lennon's old school. Well, in the shadow of this tree that in itself is in the shadow of John Lennon's old school over there. So, halfway through the season and things start to change. The allotment harvests are starting to come to fruition. So our overwintering crops we're starting to see the benefits of now. And I think I did mention in a previous vlog that plants have a way of telling you things. They tell you stuff, and if you're a good gardener, you listen. You always listen to your plants. And at this time of year, it's particularly the onions that are starting to show signs that they have come to the end of their life cycle. And we are looking for certain signs that they are ready to be harvested. One of the biggest signs is that onions start swelling out at this time of year. So the bulbs start getting bigger, and also the stems start to flop over. So the stems like that, bulbs like that, and the stem goes like that, flops over. And that's a sure sign to say that I'm ready now. You can take me out the ground if you want. Now you can leave them in a bit longer, even if the stems are a bit like that. You can leave them in, but they won't get very much bigger. That's about as much as you'll get over them. Some onions, the stems don't go over, because you end up with what looks like a big fat stem. And that means that the onion is basically gone to seed, or tried to go to seed. So you will find that they won't store very well. You can take them out the ground now, but the middle of the onion will be pithy and hollow, basically unedible. But you will get something around the edges. It just reduces your harvest. And we've had these hot periods. So that has meant that a lot of our onions have gone to seed. But fear not, because we'll still get a harvest. So today I'm going to be focusing on clearing the garlic, because the garlic most definitely is telling me that I have finished now, because it's starting to turn rusty colours. That's telling me I need to be lifted. And some of the onions don't need to be lifted at the moment. They're still quite upright, they're still swelling out, so I'm going to leave them. But certainly the garlic and some in this bed over here that need to be lifted. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift them, and yeah, I'm going to lift them, and then we're going to replace them with these. These are Alicia Craig onions. They're all Alicia Craig, And these, I'm going to try and get as many in tonight as possible. And so they're going to replace them from where I'm taking them, basically. So this is our second crop of the season. And usually in a season, we have 3 crops. So we have the overwintering ones that harvest around about now. We have, and then our second crop go in, onions, that go in, and they should be ready about October time. These are grown from seed, by the way. All of these are grown from seed. So they go in, and then we have in about October, September, October, we start planting again our overwintering onions and overwintering crops for next year. So it's a complete cycle. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So yeah, mainly that's what this video is going to be about. So I did tell you about onions telling you things, not just onions, but everything does it. These are the fat stems I was talking about. So this has gone to seed. This isn't going to develop anymore, but we've got a bulb, which is useful. See, that's a useful size, but the center of it will be hollowed out there. So I'm going to harvest these. These ones, the stems have flopped over. These ones that are kept upright, I'm going to leave in until they get to that stage, right? But wherever they've flopped over here, they're coming out. And also, the stems here have died off. So, they're coming out. And it's better to dig them out than it is to pull them out, because otherwise you could damage the bulb. So that's all I'm harvesting from this bed tonight. I'm going to leave these in for a few days until they do actually decide to tell me that they're ready. So that's not a bad little harvest, is it? Overwintering onions. I've forgotten what variety they are, but if I find out, I'll put a thing up. Yeah, that's it. So this is our garlic bed. It's in our raised vajayga bed here. Again, overwintering garlic. Basically saying, pick me now. It's all looking forlorn and they're starting to die off. But we need to pick them before these die off. Otherwise they'll be difficult to find in the soil, basically. So I'm going to take all these up tonight, the garlic, and we're going to be planting onions here in this spot. So yep, let's see what we've got anyway. So now the garlic's out, it's time to prepare this little patch of land, of raised bed I should say. And so I'm just going to break up the soil, get rid of the weeds, and then I'm going to give it some chicken manure feed, dig that in, and very shortly I'll be putting in the onions for our next growing adventure. And if you're wondering why we do all this and why we successionally grow stuff, well, the reason is quite simple. If you have grown food before, you will know and understand the benefits of successional planting. Farmers have been doing it for generations, and even Iron Age farmers, the very first people to settle down from their nomadic lifestyles and tend to the land, have known the benefits of successional planting, getting as many crops in as you can in one season, in one growing season, with full knowledge of the fact that winter will come. And of course in winter everything becomes dormant, so if you get crops in early, then you are ahead of the game. And if you can grow early crops, harvest them mid-season, get another crop in mid-season, harvest that at the end of the season, and then put your overwintering crops in, 3 crops a year in the ground, then that's working at full capacity. Here in the UK, obviously, if you're in the tropics, then you have the benefit of usually having all round warmth and the correct weather conditions to grow stuff year round. But in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, we haven't got that luxury. So I'm just breaking it up now before I put some chicken manure in, and sorting out some of the weeds. Be interesting to know if any of you use this method of successional planting, or whether you think it's of any value to you. Some people, a lot of people don't. In fact, a lot of gardeners do not do this kind of stuff, I've noticed. But I think in years to come, as things get more expensive, this is how we're going to have to start farming and tending the land again, I think. So I broke that up reasonably well, and I'm just going to empty some chicken manure, chicken pellets to feed the crops, and just mix them in. Feeding the crops is really important any season. and these pellets will take up liquid and break down and mix in with the soil. It acts as a slow release fertilizer basically, but chicken manure is perfect for most crops. It's a multi-purpose feed. Okay, that should do it. So to help with spacing, I'm going to try this perfect spacing method using my seed dibber. But of course we're not using it for seeds, we're using it for spacing young onions. And I'm going to use a 3-pin. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 3-pin option on this. And you will notice that these have got numbers on them. So we move a pin to, for instance, that one to there, which has got the number 3 on it. And we'll take that one out. Then we move that to there, which has got number 3 on it again. Take that one out. And take that one out. Move that one there. Three pins. So that's the right spacing, which is approximately 4 inches between onions. So it gives them enough room to swell out, I suppose. So we're going to try and plant them as such, in that manner. Okay, let's see what happens. So, because we're in a raised bed, we don't need to put any string across or anything like that. We'll just use this as a guide. And I'm going to start about here. And just put that in there. And there. That in there. And I'm going to go the same way this way. So we're going to do a block. And then carry on. Okay. So, I've got a bigger dibber here, and we'll put these over here. Just enlarge the holes a bit. Okay, that's the art of perfectly spaced onions. They're a bit closer together than I would normally plant them, but they are in a raised bed, so I'm not worried about that. I'm like I said, I'm trying this dibber out to see how we get on with it this year, and oh yeah, it's looking good. There are still some gaps in here, but I've got more onions at home, so I'm going to be filling the rest of this area here. I'll just have a look at this. There's some gaps here, and some of these holes I'll just sort of like make them a bit bigger. But you can get an idea of the spacing if I just hover the camera above them there. So I wonder what you're doing. How do you plant like this? Is this the way you garden? Is it something new to you? I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you have, then please give us a thumbs up and give us a like, and share on your social media feed. And yeah, happy summer solstice tomorrow. Or if you're watching this, it probably is tomorrow anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching from John, the allotment in the shadow of John Lennon's old school, which is just over there. And yeah, the sun is about to set on the penultimate day of the year, and yeah, halfway through the growing season. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.